Because someone who's obsessed with you, someone who's so possessive, someone who's so jealous is going to end up restricting you, is going to end up isolating you. You might be asking yourself, yes, I'm experiencing that. Yes, someone I know is experiencing that. But how do I get out of this situation? And this abuse could be anyone. It could be family, it could be colleagues, it could be friends, it could be your partner. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a romantic relationship. It could be in any relationship. Life with Ruth, my lovelies, inspiring you to live an empowered life. Today we are delving into the topic of abuse. How do I know someone is abusing me or even being manipulative? If I am in an abusive and manipulative relationship, and how do I get out of it? So abuse has so many forms. It can be physical, it can be emotional, but one of the first ways to notice that if it's, for example, emotional, if this person is always belittling you, if they're always putting you down, if they're always invalidating you as a person, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, you're never good enough, then that is one of the signs of being in an abusive or manipulative relationship. We all know about gaslighting, or we've heard about it or read about it. That is also one of the signs. So this is all about, again, someone invalidating your reality, always making you feel like you're the crazy one, you're the weird one. No matter what you say, it can't be the truth. Even when it's the truth, they'll make you feel like you're making that up, or are you just crazy? That can't be true. You need help. That is truly gaslighting, and it's one of the major signs of abusive and manipulative relationship, and can be really, really damaging. So in case you're in such a situation and you're wondering, or you're dealing with someone that does that often to you, that is abuse and manipulation at the same time. Of course, emotional manipulation, it could be guilt tripping, it can be victimization, it can be emotional manipulation, it can be guilt tripping, it can be love bombing, it can be playing the victim and always giving you the blame and always making you feel like you're the one who makes everything worse, you're the one who messes everything up, or even love bombing you, like someone overwhelming you with their feelings and emotions. They're sending you flowers in the morning, in the afternoon you get a love card, in the evening you get, clothes. Like you feel overwhelmed, you feel you're being bombarded. That's where even the word love bombing comes from. That is a very manipulative relationship, and you have to be very, very careful. We've all heard of it's crazy, ghosting you or silent treatment, so that is also a form of abuse. If someone is withholding affection or communication, going silent on you, and you keep asking yourself, are they still there? Do they care? Are they okay? It is very manipulative, because the more they stay out of touch, the more you want them, the more you want to know if they're fine. So they're really abusing you and manipulating you to play by their games. That is something that you want to keep in mind and really find a way of getting out of such a situation, because in the long term it can be very, very emotionally draining and can even affect your mental health. Physical abuse, I think that's what most people know. Physical intimidation, even going as far as physically harming you, that is something that we actually expect of abuse when you talk of abuse. But like I said, abuse has so many nuances. It can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be, sexual. It is really nuanced, and it's not only when someone hates you that they are being abusive. They can also damage you without hitting you. So you really want to keep that in mind. Another very damaging one or telltale sign is financial control. If your resources get controlled, be it if it's your own money, like you're working and earning your own money and your partner wants to control your finances, or if you're financially dependent and they only give you access when they're happy with you and deny it when they're angry with you, or when they want to control you, want something from you, they play along those means. That is also one big telltale sign of an abusive and manipulative relationship or situation. Not forgetting inconsistency and unpredictability. One time they are these very loving people, and the next time they're mad, or they promise to do something and they don't keep their word, they don't keep their promise, or you're not sure if you can even rely on them whatsoever. If you are sick, if you're happy, if you make plans, are they going to keep up with their plans? If they say I'm coming to see you, are they going to come and see you? If they say we're doing this together, are they going to do that with you? If they say I support you, are they supporting you? That's what I call the inconsistency and unpredictability. Like you feel all the time you're walking on eggshells and you're not sure how everything is going to pan out. That is a very unhealthy relationship, and those are telltale signs of an abusive and manipulative situation. Before I even go on, I'm curious to know, have you ever been in an abusive or manipulative relationship or situation, How did it affect you? How did you realize actually that it was even abusive? And of course, like, I'll also be giving you tips. How did you get out of it? I would be interested in knowing, because again, we are here to empower each other. So moving on to almost our last point is someone undermining your confidence. Someone always discouraging you if you say, oh, I have plans to do this and this, and someone's like, forget it. They can even do it laughing at, forget it, you can't do that. That is abusive. If someone gives you the feeling you are not worthy, you are nothing, you're not intelligent enough, you're not good enough, whatever you say, like, come on, that is very manipulative and abusive. And of course, concluding, extreme jealousy and possessiveness. Some people may consider that nice and cute, especially if you're in a romantic relationship. At the beginning, you're like, oh my God, she cares so much, oh my God, he cares so much. But that could be a very, very strong tell sign of how it's going to be in the long run, because someone who's obsessed with you, someone who's so possessive, someone who's so jealous is going to end up restricting you, is going to end up isolating you. And that is a telltale sign of abuse, and manipulation. So you really have to be careful, my lovelies. And of course, how can we talk about problems without offering solutions? You might be asking yourself, yes, I'm experiencing that. Yes, someone I know is experiencing that. But how do I get out of this situation? It's very important when you recognize all these signs to seek support. It must be from someone you trust. It could be a friend, it could be family, it could be a professional, but you definitely have to seek help, because like I said, all these telltale signs of an abusive or manipulative relationship always in the end take a very strong toll on your mental health, and can even physically make you sick, and can endanger you. If someone is, for example, physically abusive or sexually abusive, these are not things you can handle and should be dealing with in the long term. So you definitely want to seek help. So here are some steps to help you navigate the situation and eventually, hopefully, getting out of that situation completely. So first of all, you really have to trust your instincts. If your instincts are telling you this is not a healthy relationship, this is not a healthy situation, this is abusive, then it definitely is. You don't need anyone else to tell you. You really have to trust your instincts, recognize it, accept it, and then reflect on how to go about it. And most important of all, stop blaming yourself. It's never your fault. Abusive people are abusive because they are sick, because they are narcissistic, because they are manipulative, but it's never ever your fault, even as they'll keep telling you it is your fault. Just like we're doing here, make sure to educate yourself beforehand about manipulation and abuse. That helps us a lot in a day-to-day life and even in romantic relationship. Read books, watch videos like mine to make sure you're informed and you're aware of what that actually looks like, because there's always a gray zone where some people are not sure if this is okay, if this is the norm, especially if you're used to dealing with toxic people, toxic relationship. That's been your trend. You've been dating the wrong people. You might have problems recognizing where to set the boundaries. So educating yourself, reading about it, watching videos, finding out information can be very key. Just like in all relationships, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is very key in getting out of a manipulative and abusive relationship. If they hit you once and they're like, I'm not hitting you the second time, if they do it the second time, make sure you make it very clear that is not okay, unforgivable. Don't forgive abuse over and over again. If they are trying to isolate you, set your boundaries and be like, these are my friends and I'm still going to meet them. If they're trying to stop you from having a social life, make it very clear why you need it, why you're an adult, and you don't even have to explain yourself. Those are some of the steps to setting boundaries, or even reporting them to the police if they hit you, for example. Once dealing with abusive and manipulative people, it's very, very important to stay calm. Never engage in conflict or discussions, because it's like it fuels them. They're like, whoa, so now it's working out. Stay calm. Don't engage in arguments with them. Do not justify yourself. Like I said, it's never your fault. They are just wired that way, and it makes them happy, winding you up and hurting you. But also try and limit communication. Don't do this back and forth. Oh, why did you do this? Oh, I'm sorry, because it's your fault. Why did you hit me? Because you pushed me. You always anger me. You always bring me in a space where I have to do these things. Those are words that abusers and manipulative people use. So stay calm. Avoid arguments with them, or even engaging in back and forth discussions. Limit communication. and also never justify or explain yourself. If the abuse is escalating, you have to create a safety plan. Talk to someone, your parents, your friends, or even a professional, like I said. Make sure you get all your documents together, your passports, your bank documents, your birth certificate, and all those kind of important documents that you might need if you're married, marriage certificate, and keep them somewhere safe if you really at one point have to exit unprepared without taking much. That is the first step to creating an exit plan if the situation is escalating. And of course, keeping in mind, most people stay in abusive relationships because of being financially dependent. So if there's any way you can save money to help you execute your exit plan, it's very important. If it means soliciting for help from other people, do that, but you're definitely going to need that in executing your exit plan. And as we almost finalizing, build a support network. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be professionals, like I said. Seek outside perspective, go to therapy, someone to help you see the gray zone that you don't even understand. Utilize support services, like I said. Call local hotlines, go to social centers where you can be guided and assisted. Look for services of social workers and even the police if you have to. Not forgetting, keep a record of the abuse. If you're being abused physically, make sure you take photos, take videos, do a diary, journal that, and keep track of everything, because someone who is in such an abusive and manipulative relationship, there'll be times where you even doubt if it really happened. You're like, did it really happen or it didn't? Because like I said, it takes a toll on your mental health. But if you've been journaling, if you've been documenting that maybe on your phone in videos and photos, that is evidence that you cannot lose. So save evidence, keep texts, keep messages, keep pictures to help you with your exit plan, especially if you need a divorce or you have children and you have to solve all these things. You're going to need evidence, because unfortunately, most people in abusive relationships and manipulative situations are barely believed by our society. So you will need your evidence, you will need your receipts, like we say nowadays, to make sure people do not doubt you. Not forgetting, seeking legal advice can be very important. Whether it is a romantic relationship, you're dating, married, or whatever, you need legal advice to know how to navigate and execute your exit plan. If I'm a mother and I have kids, or I'm a father, we have kids, we have financial ties together, whatever it is, you need to get advice to know, if I decide now to execute my exit plan, what's gonna happen, what's the worst case scenario, how can I go about it to make sure that everything works out the way I desired it. So definitely it wouldn't hurt for you to seek legal support. And of course, before you come to the very step of now disconnecting and moving on, try to detach emotionally. Most people who are in abusive relationships take forever to leave them, and everyone is like, oh my God, they're just playing victims, they didn't listen to me. It is unfortunately the fact that they take longer to detach emotionally because they've been manipulated. Like we're saying, when you've been manipulated and you've been gaslighted, you start to think maybe you deserve that, maybe you're the bad one, maybe I could fix him, maybe I could fix her, maybe I could make it better. So they take longer, and I would advise you to start detaching emotionally so that when you come to executing your final plan, it is not a problem. The most crucial and important part is, how do I exit the relationship safely? The very final part. Plan your exit, like I said, from all the steps above. And when the day X comes, make sure you follow all the details that you planned out, how it's going to pan out. If I'm going to call my mom or my sister to come pick me up, if I'm going to pack my things when he or she is still at work, make sure you execute it the way you planned it. Leave during a calm moment. It's even better when they are not around. Never warn them, never threaten them, even during fights, oh, I'm going to leave you. That could be fatal. So make sure you live in a calm space, and if possible, have a support person with you. It could be family, it could be friends, or it could be a professional to come help you on the day of your plan execution. So you don't even get doubts or lose the courage to do that, because like I said, abusive and manipulative relationships damage your self-esteem, damage you as a person, where you even stop believing in your capabilities. And of course, keeping in mind, should this person show up when you're trying to execute your plan, it is much better if there's someone there to support you. Cut off all communication. Do not be tempted to start SMSing back and forth, calling back and forth, because they're definitely going to try. They're very manipulative people, they're abusive people. So they don't expect you to let go unless they're the ones who have let you go. So they're definitely going to try. The best way is to block them so you're not tempted until you're also in a stronger mental space to stand against them and say no. So until you're in that space, cut all communication. And of course, if they're stalking, if they start harassing you, very important, seek legal protection, get restraining orders, get child custodian support if it's necessary, if the contact is dangerous for the children. Again, brings us back to the point where I said, seek legal help and support. And of course, finally, and hopefully when that day X finally comes, you are able to rebuild your life. And I would advise you to do therapy, because someone who's been in an abusive and manipulative relationship is damaged in some way. So you need to work through those traumas, you need to work through those pains, you need to work through those doubts that you've developed over the years for you to be able to start afresh and enjoy your life. My lovelies, thank you so much for watching thus far. And of course, again, this is about social empowerment. Let us have a conversation in the comment section. Tell us about your experience. If you're still going through that, let us know how we can support you. And this way, we all elevate each other. I'm here to inspire, uplift, and empower you. Until next time, take good care of yourselves. Thank you. Vielen Dank.